then I win and we.
All right, we are now a month. We are a month into the new Sunday Karma, and it is very clear none of us have thought about how this new game works.
Oh, I've thought a lot about it. We just don't talk about it amongst ourselves. So
We're busy people.
Well, look, I understand it, right? To your point, Kyle, we are busy individuals. We have other things to think about during the week. But this is almost embarrassing.
No, it's beyond embarrassing, but we.
Oh, it's past embarrassing. Okay, got it.
We all signed up for
fault?
Like,
is it my fault? No, producer's my fault?
Yeah. Well,
yes, it is your fault. It's your fault for saying you want to be the producer when you should be a host. But if Strokey was producing, it would be better. But it's your fault to decide that you want to be the producer, not. It's just not a role you should be in.
He was offended when I suggested the idea of me producing occasionally, not on a weekly basis, an occasional producer. He was offended by the idea. I even pondered that. So my understanding of my role on this new and improved with the question mark Sunday Karma is that I just show up and I try to fill in the dots a little bit.
That's all of our roles. That's why it's a bad show. But anyone who listens is committed to being part of that, right? Everyone's job on this show, including you as the listener, is just to show, or viewer, sorry, I just say listener, but see many of you watching on YouTube. You see great background here. We can give you a tour of my hotel room here in New Orleans.
I'm very curious of where you're staying at.
Oh, yeah. I want the ins and outs. I want to know.
This does not seem like a typical 5-star hotel.
Dude, this is like an 11-star hotel. I'm in the coolest spot ever.
Is there a kitchenette in your hotel room? Is there a kitchenette?
No. This is like old school New Orleans, but I'm in one of the coolest hotels in the entire city. I'm actually in a hotel that Emeril, I'm his guest, so I shouldn't know how to say his last name. How do we say Emeril's last name?
All I know is Bam. All I know is Bam. I don't know his last name.
Yeah, so
we're referring to the same person, right?
I don't know. I don't know about Bamming. I don't watch the Food Network. I'm assuming that's where
you're referring to the chef.
Yes.
Okay. Bam.
Yes.
Yeah, that's him.
So I'm at a hotel that only has 20 total rooms, but only like 14 of them are in use. Emeril has bought out the entire hotel. I'm a guest of his foundation here. I actually won this hotel room in an auction at the V Foundation Stuart Scott Booyah event in New York. So I'm at this really, really cool hotel. So I'm here with my uncle. He's in a separate room. So we have 2 of the 14 rooms. But my uncle and I, when we each walked into our rooms, there were monogrammed robes with our initials on it. Like,
oh, wow.
I mean, that's never happened to me when I've walked into a hotel. So I know my uncle still keeps saying, like, I keep thinking about putting it in my bag. I feel like the siren's going to go off and they're going to come arrest me or something for stealing the robe. And I'm like, nah, it's got your initials on it.
It's yours.
Yeah, you got to take it. If someone puts your initials on a robe, they can't be using that for the next guest who's coming in. So yeah, this hotel, it's old. It's like from the 1850s or something, but it's nice. It's really nice. They got a hospitality room for us. Yeah, this is. I know the background might not look exciting for those of you watching on YouTube and anywhere else reviewable, but now this is a really, really nice spot.
All right, so now that we have taken care of the echo and I can actually hear you, I have about 8 questions about what's going on. All right, so
by the way, this is also
real. You've got hangover cure in your hand.
This is also what they do for you in New Orleans. Like when you check in, they give you all of this, which
Advil, Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, that's for the week. It's for the week. If you do the crime, you got to do the time.
Indeed.
Yeah, they give you all sorts of hangover.
Have you utilized any of them, Craig?
I did one of these one of these hydration multipliers right before I came on the air.
Okay, good. Wow. Good for you.
Wait. What time did you go to bed at last night, Craig?
I was asleep early.
What is that? What is early?
Before 1.
Okay, that's not that early. I was on a party bus last night, and I was asleep before 1. So,
wow. Well, you did all day.
New Orleans.
I'm not in New Orleans.
Super Bowl weekend, right? Like, I mean, it's very different. Like most people, I had business meetings at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Business
meetings in New Orleans, huh?
Yeah,
fill us in.
Business meetings in New Orleans.
Fill us in.
Did we close the deal? Did we seal it?
Open.
Come on now. we work with a lot of NFL teams. So, I'm catching up with people and brands and agencies. But when I met with people at 8 a.m., not a single one of them had been asleep, had been back to their hotels before 2 a.m. So me being like at noon, they're like, "Oh, you're like,
proud of you.
You're like old, like you're like an old veteran who's done so many of these that you don't even go out anymore." Like people are like, "Oh yeah, I was with Snoop in a basement, where his concert started at 1 a.m. after whatever." Like, that's yeah. So for me, both nights to be home around midnight, that is lame, and that shows that I'm not getting after it this Super Bowl.
So you got there what day? Then Friday you got there?
Thursday.
You got there Thursday. Thursday night was what?
Team dinner.
Okay. Friday was what? Friday night was what?
And Thursday, team dinner means everyone from like our Good Karma ESPN network to our local markets to like Adam Schefter and like the guys and women, Michelle Smallman, like people who are part of the ESPN radio network and ESPN podcast. So that was Thursday night.
And that one is on your books then? Team dinner's on Craig on Thursday?
On Good Karma. Good Karma pays for that. That's
okay.
Not me personally, but yes.
Got it. Friday night was what?
Friday night was, 3 to 5 was happy hour meet and greet with a lot of our talent. Where again, Adam Schefter, Steve Levy from ESPN.
Nice.
Wait a minute, Kyle Walls and Alex Stroke weren't invited. We're talent.
People from our different brands, Andrew Siciliano, who
voice of the Browns, right?
Browns games, yeah. So bunch of different talent there, and then from there over to an ESPN party. From there to just a late night. Actually, we had a 9:30 dinner reservation that night.
That's late, and I saw Evan Cohen, who I assume you were with, was complaining about the fact that he had a 9:30 dinner reservation, despite the fact he didn't have to work on Saturday.
That's a legitimate thought.
Yeah,
pretty late to eat dinner.
That's a normal dinner time for me, so I have no problem with that.
But he's an East Coast guy, so it's 10:30 for him.
Well, but also he was on the air on ESPN Radio yesterday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Oh, he did have to work yesterday. Okay, my bad. Yeah. Then I understand where he's coming from. Okay, and then last night you mentioned you were out until about 1 a.m. What was last night?
Last night was midnight again. I mean, and last night was, a few parties, and a dinner. So,
okay, who was the most famous person you interacted with this week, Craig?
I mean, like in terms of total followers, it would probably be Adam Schefter, right?
Okay.
He's just got so many. The best is one of our guys from our team was like, he was doing some stuff with Verizon. He's like, yeah, I didn't realize this guy Travis Scott was such a big deal. I met him; seemed like a nice guy, but I didn't realize he was so big.
Yeah, he's pretty famous.
Yeah, by the way, that's Kenny Rovac, our former ESPN Madison.
Oh, he's the best
general manager who had said
that
that.
that adds up. Okay, I was going to ask who said it. That makes sense.
This Travis Scott guy seems to be a nice guy. Okay, but by the way, there was a lot of things that happened this week, especially with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think we're going to need to talk about that. As I said, our mystery guest today is going to be very interesting for you both.
Interesting.
I'm very interested to see how you perform with them. I think they are going to be an interesting challenge for you. We'll talk some Packers, obviously, when we have Jason Wilde here. There's interesting stuff going on around the NFL, which we'll talk about with Jason. But we have a lot of things to get to, and I think we got to talk a little bit about Chris Middleton when we continue. So that is coming up next. It is Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation.